Hello and welcome everyone. In this video, we will review data manipulation and type conversion. We create a series, then we could round the values using dot round method. We can also clip some of the values by giving the lower and upper threshold values. So here we use 0 and 3, and we can see the values that were larger than 3 were reduced to 3, and the values that were smaller than 0 were reduced to 0. We can use fill NA method to replace the missing values, and here we have used in place is equal to true, which means that this will update the series, so we don't have to save a new series. If we look at the series now, we can see that the missing value has been replaced with 2. Now if we look at the data type, so this is float 64, we can change it to integers using as type method, and we can also change it to strings. In this case, we will see the data type as objects. We could also use the apply method to change the data type to string. We could convert it back to numeric from the string data using Pandas toNumeric method. And we could also work with the datetime strings. So here we generate a series with datetime strings, and here we could see the data types object because this is string data and we cannot apply any datetime functionality to this string data. So for that we can use pandas toDateTime method to convert it to datetime, and here you could see that the data type is now datetime. Here we create another series, but this time we have a missing value, and if we try to do the type conversion, so here there is no problem because we are using this parameter errors is equal to coerce. If we ignore this parameter and don't specify it, then we will see a value error, that is unable to parse string nan. So in order for this to work, we have to provide this errors is equal to coerce, and this will ignore all the nan values and apply data conversion to the remaining values. Another important topic is about handling missing values that are none, nan or null values, and we have seen previously that we can replace the missing values using fill NA method, and we can also drop the missing values using drop NA, and we can create a finite mask using not null method. So here we could see that the first value which was missing is false, however the other two values are true. So we could apply this finite mask to the series to get the finite values, and we could also use the isNull method to filter out the null values. And here we are using the not operator to finite mask, which means we are keeping the missing value or nan value. We could also see the first valid index and last valid index in the series, and here we could see that the indices 1 and 2 represent the first valid index and the last valid index respectively. We could also perform some matrix operations, and here we create two series, one ranging from 0 to 10 and the other from 10 to 20, and we can compute the dot product between these two series using the dot method. We can also accomplish the same thing by multiplying both series first and then computing their sum. Next, we will see how to append, combine, and join two series. So we have two series, dat1 and dat2. We could use pandas concat method to concatenate these two series. We can also add the values between these two series. Any keys that are common between these two series will have their values added. We can also copy the values from one series to another. Similarly, we can update the values of a series using the values from another series. And we can use the repeat method to repeat the values of a series. So here we have specified 2, so each value is repeated twice. We can sort the values. Here we are specifying ascending is equal to false and the sorted values are in descending order. But if we change it to true, which is the default, we'll see the values are arranged in ascending order. We can also sort the indices. Again, by providing ascending is equal to false, we sort the indices in descending order. We could also rank a series by its values. Here we could see the largest value comes first and then the smallest value comes last. Now we will look at how we can apply a function to a series. So for that we write this function that formats the input value by extending the string. So if we run this function and apply this map method, so we could see that we have nice songs appended to each of these values. Here we have another series. So if we want to change the value of a series, so let's say we want to change red to green, so we could use the map method and it will only change the values that were specified in this dictionary. For the remaining values, it will return empty or nan values. We could also use the apply method to this function. The difference between apply and map method is that it works on a function, but it won't work on these specified values. Now let's see about serialization. Here we will talk about how we could read data to and from a CSV file. So for that we will use the string IO from IO and then we create an instance and then create a CSV file. We then write this CSV file and here we are reading the CSV from this string IO instance, and we could also read it from the CSV file that we saved. Here we have another series, and in this series we could apply the string methods. So for example, if we want the values to change to lowercase, we could use names.string.lower method and that will change the values to lowercase. We could also use the string.findAll method to see how many times this letter appeared in each of these values. So this letter O has appeared in George, John, but it didn't show up in Paul, so we see an empty list. But in Moon, we see it appeared twice. So this was all about series methods. Please keep watching and see you all in the next video.